Bubble hockey is a Canadian classic, and this game at the BC Sports Hall of Fame takes players back in time.
I love that you can see Frank Frederickson, who's in our Hall of Fame and the Hockey Hall of Fame, lining up against Cyclone Taylor, who's in both halls as well.
Those hockey icons played over a century ago for the Vancouver Millionaires and the Victoria Cougars, both Stanley Cup champions before the NHL even existed. The table didn't come this way. It was customized by a Victoria doctor to mark the 100th anniversary of the Cougars' 1925 Stanley Cup win.
I was thinking about what things would be a nice way for, families of and kids of all ages to interact with history, and probably number one on my list would be to be able to play bubble hockey of a time warp, retro futurism version.
One of O'Connor's neighbors painted each player in Cougars and Millionaires colors, complete with names and numbers.
And it's interesting to look at the time period as well, leather gloves, leather goalie pads, all these nice historical items.
O'Connor added decals with information about the two teams and players who changed the game.
Different innovations that were developed right here in BC, in Vancouver and Victoria. Everything from the blue line to playoffs to player numbers.
When the table was complete, O'Connor donated it to the BC Sports Hall of Fame.
When I was a kid growing up, I always liked the science museums where you go in and you could play with the buttons and make sparks or do something. So I appreciated that opportunity when I was a kid, and I'm contributing something back to the generations behind me.
Visitors can now play as the last two BC teams to win the Stanley Cup.
I hear so many people, my dad and even my grandparents' age, saying, well, I just want to see it in my lifetime. And then when you think about that it's been 100 years since the last one, it can't go much longer, can it?
My hope runs eternal.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.